He's still suffering from the same problems, and the solution is nowhere to be seen. People have to wait for hours, sometimes for up to 26 hours, for 6 months. How ridiculous is that? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another chatty video of mine. If you've been here for some time, you probably know just how much I love this country. Just a quick disclaimer saying that I will talk about a few darker things here, but it's not to criticize Italy, it's not to rant, it's just to let you know what to expect, because as great as Italy is, there are some things that you need to be ready for when moving here. There are a few things that might be unexpected, and these are the things that you normally do not pay much attention to. You don't think about it, that's it, unless you encounter them. And there have been a few situations in my life, not in my life exactly, but in the lives of people that I know and that are parts of my life, that have prompted me to think of these things and of how these situations could have been different if there have been different organization and different things. So without confusing you too much, guys, I think we can begin this video where I want to talk about the things that might be not as pleasant as we'd love them to. So if you're ready, we can start. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button down below. So the first thing I want to tackle is the Italian healthcare. Now, the Italian healthcare is famous for supposedly being free for all. Italy has the universal healthcare, and I had so many people telling me about it, and even here I can see people commenting me, well, healthcare is free in Italy, which is a huge asset of this country. Well, let's have a closer look at this matter. Technically, yes, the healthcare is kind of free, but it's not, because it is paid for by the taxes you pay, and the taxes in Italy are incredibly high, so it only makes sense to not charge anything extra for the healthcare, right? Well, yes, technically it's free, however, no one's gifting it to you. And as good as it sounds, you know, to have an almost free healthcare, sadly, it's not always sufficient and well organized. What prompted me to make this video and to think of this matter was a situation that happened to an Italian family that I know when their son needed an urgent medical help in January of this year. Well, first of all, when he got to the emergency room, he had to wait for 12 hours before being admitted, before being even seen by the doctors, which is absolutely crazy. Then, when he was admitted later, he spent several weeks in the hospital to no avail. He was discharged without the diagnosis, and he couldn't even had all the tests done because not all of the equipment was functioning at the time. After he was discharged, the hospital initially promised to call back in February to check in on him and to invite him for further tests, hopefully to finally solve this mystery and to get the diagnosis. Well, guess what? It's April and nobody has called ever. The boy is still undiagnosed, he's still suffering from the same problems, and the solution is nowhere to be seen. Sadly, these examples are becoming more and more frequent, with even the media coverage trying to draw attention to what's happening in the ER when people have to wait for hours, sometimes for up to 26 hours. I'm definitely not saying that it's the fault of the hospitals or, God forbid, of the doctors. There are stellar doctors who make incredible surgeries and can cure really difficult things. And you know, sometimes when I hear of what some doctors have done, it seems to be coming straight out of a science fiction movie. But it's the matter of the organization, and it's definitely is deeper than just taking you know, every single hospital and saying what's wrong there. I'm just saying that this is the thing that's happening all around the country. So maybe the solution is to be found somewhere, you know, on a general level. By the way, if you're an Italian living in Italy or an expat in Italy and you live in a different part of Italy than me, if you're not from Bologna, tell me in the comments if you had an experience with pronto soccorso, with the emergency room. Anyway, what I'm saying is that there are incredible doctors and really good hospitals, but just the healthcare might need some more organizational skills, might need to be better organized in order not to cause these unpleasant and potentially dangerous situations. And this is actually the reason why more and more people in Italy are opting for private healthcare. there are different private hospitals and different insurance companies offering you different packages for healthcare, and you can opt for this if you don't want to go to the public hospital. And if you want to learn more about different healthcare options in Italy, if you want to learn more about different types of insurances, you can check out my Patreon page. I will leave you the link in the description. I have a dedicated post there where I talk a lot about healthcare and different options, different insurance, and, well, everything you have to know about healthcare in Italy. The second, and actually the last thing that I want to talk about today is the bureaucracy. Well, good news is that this is the last thing for today, so there aren't as many dark things about Italy, but bureaucracy is definitely one of them. I've talked about the Italian bureaucracy numerous times before. However, I want to talk about it once again because this is also something that you don't really think about unless you face it. And a friend of mine who is not a European Union citizen has told me recently that he's been waiting for his latest permesso di soggiorno, basically his residency permit, for 6 months. How ridiculous is that? This is absolutely mind-blowing that a person should wait for 6 months, half a year to get his permit while everything is regular. He's studying here and, he was supposed to get it earlier. Another example is that when you get your public health care, your registration with the National Health Service, you are supposed to get your tessera sanitaria, basically a card, an insurance card. But once you get registered, you're waiting for this card for up to 3 months to arrive. And yes, you are in the computer and you can use all of the public healthcare options here in Italy, but if you're going abroad in this time without your card, you won't be able to use it there. You will have to pay. It happened to me when I've been waiting to renew my card. I've renewed my card and I've been waiting to get my card. And then I went to Germany and I had to go to the ER there actually, and I had to pay for all the services because I didn't have my card with me, even though I was registered in Italy, and it was supposed to be free if I had my card. At least that's what I was told there in the hospital in Germany. So, these things could be absolutely nerve-wracking. Next up, these bureaucratic offices often don't know what to actually do with you, and they end up sending you from one office to another because the information that they initially gave you proved to be wrong, and then you have to redo everything, and then you have to go to yet another office. And these offices have very short working hours. Most of them close at maximum at 1 p.m. or sometimes even at 11 a.m. and you end up wasting a lot of time to get things done. Luckily, there are some places where you can get, like electronic appointment, where you can take an appointment online and go to a certain time and have this. Well, that's definitely is very helpful. However, it's not happening everywhere, and you still have to wait in lines and you still have to do all these daunting tasks. However, on the bright side, despite what you might expect, despite it might seem obvious that the people will be angry and aggressive there, waiting in these lines and being bounced from one office to another, I've met incredible people there who were so kind and nice and helpful, and they could have been a shoulder to cry on, or they could have actually offered me some help when I was absolutely lost and didn't know what to do. They could go to this office with me and try to at least, direct me in the right office or something like that. And I think this is fascinating that Italians, have this capacity to remain human in these stressful situations and be helpful to others and be so compassionate to others. I love this so much about this country and these people. So my final point is that the bureaucratic offices need better organizations similar to the hospitals, but luckily there are people who could be very supportive in these places and in these situations. And I don't know, maybe it's like, the shared problem uniting people or what, but at least there is the bright side to every dark side. And that's it, guys. I hope that you enjoy this video. I know that usually I'm showing a very different content, a very romanticized version of life in Italy with my travels and life here, and it is just like that. However, it obviously is not stress-free 24/7 because that's life and things are happening, and I just want to be realistic here and trying to tell you that while you will get all the perks of living in Italy, there are some things that you need to be prepared for, because like that, they hopefully will not be as stressful for you, and they definitely were stressful for me when I first moved here. So guys, if you want to move here without an added stress, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button down below, check out my Patreon where I post a lot of useful content for future expats in Italy or even new expats in Italy who are already here. Make sure to check out the link in the description box once again. And as always, don't forget to like, comment and share this video with your friends so I can create more content for you. Thank you so much for being here and please enjoy your day.